The cabin of Flight 214 from Dallas to Seattle, 2025, hummed softly under dimmed lights, the drone of engines a lullaby for weary travelers. In row 12, Daniel Carter, 38, a single father with tired eyes and a salt and pepper beard, slumped against the window. His 9-year-old daughter, Ellie, nestled against his arm. Juggling 2 jobs, a warehouse manager by day, rideshare driver by night, had left him hollowed out. His only anchor, the girl whose laughter kept him going since her mother's death 3 years ago. For the first time in months, his eyes fluttered shut, chasing fleeting rest. The intercom crackled, shattering the calm. "Ladies and gentlemen," Captain Elena Ruiz's voice wavered, "we have an emergency. If there's a licensed pilot on board, please press the call button now." Gasps rippled through the cabin like a shockwave. Flight attendants sprinted down the aisles, faces taut, scanning for a savior. Passengers whispered, "What's wrong? Is the plane going down?" Ellie stirred, her brown curls bouncing as she tugged Daniel's sleeve. "Daddy, what's happening?" His heart jolted, sleep vanishing. The captain's plea hit like a thunderclap. Before Ellie's birth, before the car accident that stole his wife Sarah, Daniel had been a commercial pilot, logging thousands of hours in cockpits. Grief and fatherhood had grounded him, trading wings for stability. But now the sky was calling him back. He hesitated, doubt clawing at him. He hadn't flown in years. Could he still trust his instincts? What if he failed, leaving Ellie an orphan? Her wide eyes met his, trusting, scared. Sarah's words echoed from a late-night memory. "Courage is choosing love over fear, Danny." He raised his hand, voice steady despite the storm inside. "I'm a pilot." A flight attendant, her badge reading Maya, rushed him forward. Ellie's soft, "Be careful, Daddy," trailing behind. In the cockpit, Captain Ruiz, a 32-year-old Latina with sweat beading on her brow, stood rigid. "My co-pilot's out. Heart attack mid-flight," she said, nodding to the slumped figure being tended by a medic. "We're short-staffed, and a storm's hitting Seattle. I need you to co-pilot." Daniel's pulse raced. The controls gleamed under the cockpit's glow, familiar yet foreign. "It's been years," he admitted, voice low. Ruiz's eyes locked onto his. "You're not alone. We'll do this together." Her trust steadied him, and he slid into the co-pilot seat, the levers and dials sparking muscle memory. The next 40 minutes were a crucible. Turbulence rattled the plane, a beast bucking against the storm. Daniel and Ruiz moved as one, calling out altitudes, adjusting flaps, running checklists with precision honed by years apart. Outside, lightning cracked, illuminating clouds like a battlefield. Passengers gripped armrests, some praying, others sobbing, their whispers audible through the cockpit door. Daniel glanced at a photo taped to the console, Ruiz with a young son, mirroring his own stake in this fight. "For them," he muttered, and Ruiz nodded, her jaw set. Ellie's face flashed in his mind, her trust his anchor. "Seattle Tower, this is Flight 214, requesting emergency landing clearance," Daniel said, his voice calm over the radio. The tower crackled back, guiding them through the storm. Rain lashed the windshield, runway lights flickering faintly below. "Brace for impact," Ruiz whispered, her hand steady on the yoke. Daniel adjusted the throttle, the plane shuddering as wheels kissed tarmac, bounced once, then settled. Silence, then a roar of applause and tears from the cabin. Daniel exhaled, hands trembling as relief flooded him. He returned to row 12, Ellie launching into his arms, her voice muffled against his chest. "Daddy, you're my hero!" Tears pricked his eyes, not for the landing, but for the realization life had tried to ground him, but love had lifted him back. Passengers reached out, shaking his hand, some crying, others murmuring thanks. A businessman in a suit pressed a business card into his hand. "You ever want a job? Call me." In the terminal, Captain Ruiz addressed the crowd, her voice steady now. "Tonight, you saw more than skill. You saw a father, a man who stepped up when we needed him most. That's humanity at its finest." Daniel ducked his head, uncomfortable with the praise, but Ellie beamed, clutching his hand. The airline offered him a consultant role, and a local news crew caught the story. Their headline trending on X, "Single Dad Pilot Saves Flight in Storm." Ellie showed it to her friends, her pride louder than words. Back home in Dallas, Daniel framed the flight's manifest, a reminder of the night he reclaimed his wings. He started flying lessons again, this time with Ellie watching, her cheers echoing over the tarmac. The sky hadn't just called him back, it had shown him he was never truly grounded. Ordinary people, scarred by loss, can rise when the moment demands it, proving courage and love can outshine any storm.